right, everyone. Good morning. I think this is week 8 of the Broker Academy, and we're going to go off. We're going to deviate from the syllabus. Um, we were supposed to go over broker portals, but I think we've done a lot of that, especially if you went to the Aetna training. You got to see what Lisa had to propose, and we've talked about the different broker portals and changes. So what we want to talk about now are the ancillary plans, the cancer, heart attack, and stroke, hospital indemnities. So I'm going to ask everybody to go on mute, but as soon as you have a question, by all means, raise your hand or just chime right in. This is your time. This is also being recorded. It'll be on the agency website under Broker Academy. So with that, I'm going to share my screen. And the first site I'm going to go to is the Aetna portal. So this is Aetna Supplemental Insurance. You get there by going to www.aetnaseniorproducts.com, then you log in. So I was speaking to a mentee yesterday, and they were saying, well, wait a minute, Aetna Supplemental Insurance, is that the Aetna Medicare Supplement plan? I said, no, the terminology is kind of loosey-goosey. So this talks about any sort of plan up to and in addition to a Medicare Advantage plan or supplement. So you should all be contracted with Aetna Senior Supplement. If not, either reach out to your upline or your mentor or Tracy or myself. So they have changed this website since I was last on here, but once you log in, the screen will appear. Go to Aetna Quote and Enroll. And not only are we going to go over the Aetna site, we're going to go over the Cigna site. We also have access to Manhattan Life. So there are GTL. There are many companies that offer these plans. What I will recommend, though, is get good with one of them, because these plans can be sold during a MAPD or Medicare enrollment period, as long as that scope is signed and that product is checked. So get good at the quoting tools. That way you can do it seamlessly during a Medicare Advantage or a Medicare Part D enrollment period. So the first thing with any sort of quote, they want to know where this client lives. 06477 is my zip code. State of Connecticut automatically fills in. Date of birth. So these plans are available to anybody, not just people who are on Medicare. So if you do ACA, if you do any sort of life insurance, if you do anything with the under 65 population, this can be a product that you can offer them. So I'm just going to put in my date of birth. Effective date. All right. Now with these supplemental plans, and again, I'm using that term loosely, you do not have to choose the first of the month or the first of the following month like you do with Medicare. So for example, what's today? Today is 9/10. I'm going to do 9. I'm not going to do 9/10 or 9/11. I'm going to do 9/12, 2025. Male. Again, they're going to ask you about tobacco use. So in the state of Connecticut, there's no underwriting at all for MAPD, prescription drug plans, or supplement plans. These plans that we're talking about today, they are in fact underwritten. So they are going to ask about tobacco use. So you can always hit the icon here. Have you used tobacco for the past 12 months, including vaping and e-cigarettes? Oh, we have Bridget coming in. Perfect. So this is a question you need to ask. There's a little leeway. If somebody wants to have a cigar every now and then, you don't necessarily need to put it. You don't want to mislead on the application or falsify what they say. Just come out and ask. And we can see how that will affect the premiums if somebody is a tobacco user. But I'm going to put no. More information. If you wanted to put the client's name and information, you could put that in there. It might be easier for you to keep the quotes straight, or you could go straight to view products, which we are. So we have final expense. We have protection series final expense. We can go into that. Dental, vision and hearing, flex plus, cancer insurance, heart attack and stroke, recovery care, hospital indemnity. Now, right now, I do have a cancer and heart attack and stroke plan through Aetna. So let's kind of jump into those first. So if somebody is interested, under state law, insurers may be required to prove written notice with the application and enrollment materials, blah, 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 blah. You are required to provide the notice to all applicants prior to signing the application. Right, we have Dave Shepard in there too. Okay. The notice can be found here. So all the information that you need in order to do this enrollment compliantly is here for you. It's very user-friendly. Keep in mind that if you do this appointment separately from an MAPD or a Medicare plan in general, you do not need to get this scoped, or you do not need to get it recorded if you're going to do it via Zoom. So that's a benefit of kind of doing it separately. But here we go. Cancer benefit. What is the benefit amount you want to use? You can do it up to from $5,000 all the way to $75,000. So let's just do, I think I have 50,000. Who's going to be in the insured? Is it going to be one person? Is it going to be an insured spouse, child, or a family? Let's just do it one at a time. Let's just do it for the insured. You want cancer insurance, or do you want the recurring benefit? Well, what does that mean? So if diagnosed with cancer or a sarcoma in situ, this policy will pay 100% of the selected benefit amount. And if you want to recover, who's coming in now? Laura's coming in. And if you want to be covered in case of the cancer returns, the reoccurrence benefit is payable as long as medical advice or treatment has not been received for at least 2 years from the date of the last cancer diagnosis. This reoccurrence benefit will pay a percentage of the selected benefit amount not to exceed an additional $100. So if somebody just wants the flat cancer benefit, I got cancer, I get the benefit, boom, it's a one-time. If they want a reoccurrence, again, if they've been clean cancer-free for less than 2 years, they get nothing. But after 2 to 5 years, they get 25% of the benefit, so on and so forth. It explains to the client right here, clean and easy. You don't have to memorize anything, right? If we did the quote just for the straight cancer, it shows it both, $49.91 a month, okay? If I want the reoccurring benefit, $4 more. Always do the reoccurring benefit, all right? If I wanted to do insured and spouse, so we went from $49.91. It's probably going to double it. Yeah, pretty much doubled it. Okay. If we went to for the whole kit and caboodle, 75,000 coverage. Not much of a difference. Let's make the math a little easier. $75,000 of coverage, $80, as opposed to 5,000. Oh shit, you can't beat that. Oh, I was at 25,000. That's right, 50,000. So from 50,000, you're looking at $53. If you increase it by 25,000 more, 20 bucks. So what does this plan cover? Any sort of cancer except basal cell skin cancer, but it's an indemnity plan. It pays you directly. Okay. So what is that? What could that be used for? Obviously, Medicare Advantage plans will cover chemotherapy. There's maximum out of pockets because chemotherapy is usually 20%. That goes to the Part B maximum out of pocket. This could definitely cover that. You could also use it to travel to, depending on where you want to get treatment. Let's say somebody has a supplement plan and they want to go to one of the leading cancer facilities. Okay. Do you want your spouse to move there with you? Do you want to stay in a hotel? Do you want the spouse to stay in the hotel while you get your treatments? Again, this could pay for a lot of that. There are cancer treatments out there that are not covered by Medicare. You could use that. So there's a lot of things. You can use this almost as a disability plan. I have cancer right now. I can no longer work because I'm getting treated. Now I have a loss of income. I need to pay my mortgage. I need to put food on the table, especially if this is an individual who is the sole income earner. All right. So not very expensive. If we went back and changed it to tobacco use, I think with the cancer policy, it's going to skyrocket. So we're looking at about $80 for the maximum amount for one person. Tobacco use. Did even let me do it? No change. That's crazy. That is, I almost want to, you got to be kidding me. All right. So guess what? You have that celebratory cigar, does not work, does not matter with your, wow, it does not have any effect on your cancer policy. Okay. So let's just change that to no. Actually, hold on. Let's just do yes and hit reset. 6477, because I can't believe that. 12/10/1976. We said we're going to do this on 9/12/2025. Mail. We are going to use tobacco. Disclaimer, disclaimer. Look at that. Tobacco use does not affect anything. All right. Let's say you want to do this. The person's interested. You add it to the cart. Let's choose that one again. Reoccurrence benefit. Just makes sense. Add it to the cart. Here's your cart. Or do we want the spouse on there? If we do insured and spouse, get the quote. Add to cart. We could now add this Part B, the applicant B on here. So let's say we're twins, or at least we were born on the same day. Being twins would be really weird. Female, no tobacco. How do we want to pay? Monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, annually. Let's see if there's a discount. So we're looking at a little happy dandy calculator here. 147.33 times 12. 1767. No, not much of a discount at all. Actually, they actually rounded up. So you'd start enrollment. You know, we're going to go through the entire process and not hit enter. So when I did do this online, it is saved under our coffee chats. We actually enrolled, we went through the underwriting process. It took about a minute for them to give us the go ahead or to issue the policy.
Hey, Chris, I have a question. So if you put an applicant B, do they get their own policy or is it all under one policy?
Great question. It's all under one.
So if one of the spouses or one of the people passed away, were they able to keep their plan?
They keep the plan, but they only keep their portion. So it's
Okay.
it's literally one document, but it's two separate benefits, if that makes sense.
Yep, got it.
Okay. All right, so here we go. Here's some underwriting questions. During the past 10 years, have you been treated or diagnosed with HIV? No. Within the past 5 years, what do we been advised by a medical profession to have tests or monitored related to cancer, included but not limited to all of these things? No. Experience any of the following: unexplained weight loss, a lump, a growth, a tumor. Diagnosed with treatment, radiation, surgery, Hodgkin's disease, any sort of cancer. No. Are we replacing anything? No. Is this policy being applied to intend to replace another insurance policy? Or do you have any other health insurance in force? Let's see. I'm going to see if we can kind of see Medicare. Or I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to leave that alone. Are you going to replace this? No. Next. Oh, so we have to put something. Let's see. Next. All right, so nothing changed. Okay. But if I went back, let's say, well, I don't want to do the AIDS, but I did have skin cancer, so I'll say yes. All right. If any health questions are answered yes in this section, the application does not qualify. So boom, that's your knockout question. Okay. So I hit next. I'm good. This is good. I'm happy. I don't want to change anything. So I hit next. Looks good. So now I'm going to put Tracy's information up here. I'm going to fill in all this stuff. Then I'm going to put in payment information. So it looks like it's only going to accept checking or savings, but a bank account or direct bill. All right. So I could do EFT or direct bill, but what did it say? Talks about the premium and everything, agent information. So I could do a split if I wanted to. So again, you have a business partner. It's not like Medicare. It's like a standard insurance policy where you can split the commission, review and sign. Okay. What I'm wondering though is, let's go back. My cases. Let's see what we have here. So this is just now. I'm going to delete this. Let's go back. 06477. Oh, something in the chat. What do we have here? What's the commission on this? It really depends. So with Medicare, it's a flat amount, right? CMS dictates it. With any other real insurance plan, it's based off of a grid. The more you produce, the more the insurance company wants to pay you. And it's based off of the contract. Off the top of my head, I really couldn't tell you what the commission was, but it is on a sliding grid. The more you produce, the more you make. It's a production reward. All right. Final expense. Let's take a, or actually, let's do the cancer, heart attack, and stroke. Same idea. Reoccurrence. It's going to be the same thing. If I didn't have a stroke or a heart attack, no treatment, and the years have passed, I slowly get that benefit back. Okay. If I want the maximum amount of coverage, 75,000, $80, $80 a month. Let's say I'm use tobacco. Wow, no effect. Let's say I'm a woman. See if gender has any effect on it. No. So that's all good to know. Has no effect. We're going to go into the final expense and we're going to see if that affects the life insurance. But again, if somebody has a heart attack, if somebody has a stroke, here we go. Product brochure or outline of coverage it has all this information out here for you. Oh, Cynthia's back in. This gives you a nice benefit, or it gives you an idea of what the benefit is. And this can be sent directly to your clients. Gives you the real life risks. So this is great material. Again, you can get into your portal. You can look at this information. You can send it out to clients. But again, if somebody's on an MAPD plan and they have a heart attack, well, what's going to happen? One, probably going to have to take an ambulance. This is about $300. They're going to be in the hospital for maybe 3-4 days, possibly, right? And we're looking at maybe $300 a day. So that's going to be about 12. We're looking at about $2,000 already. Are they going to have any sort of rehab? Now they're going to be out of work too. Do they have a disability policy at work? How much is that disability policy going to cover? So this is not paid toward the insurance company. This is not paid to the hospital. This is an indemnity plan. It's paid directly to the member. All right. And again, you can play around with it. You can have increments, but these are some of the things that you can talk about during that Medicare meeting, right? When you talk about the ambulance ride, when you talk about the hospital stays, get their information, get their ears perking. If we talk about final expense, let's have some fun. We're going to do, okay, I can actually pick the amount. All right. So let's say 50,000. Please select a plan from the available plans. Oh, you know what? They might not have this available in Connecticut. So let's get rid of that one. Let's go to this final expense. Here we go. So the modified plan, let's see what all of this stuff means. Super preferred final expense plan is only issued if the applicant has an active Aetna or Ascendo Medicare supplement underwritten through the policy in the last 180 days. So that's interesting. Okay, so if somebody's looking for final expense, chances are you're not going to be looking at these policies for them. Unless they have one of those policies, the Ascendo or the super preferred final expense. Okay. Well, let's see if we can do this one. Standard level. You can add different riders. So you have $72 a month for $20,000. You have your accelerated death benefit rider, but what that is basically if you're diagnosed with a terminal illness, you'll get a portion of this paid out to you sooner that you can use any way you want. Accidental death benefit rider. Does it go into detail? It might when we go to the product brochure, but that's basically if you die due to an accident, you get paid a little bit more. But let's see if the tobacco affects this. or actually gender. All right, so we have a female right now, standard at $72. Let's see if she used tobacco, what happens. That's crazy. That is crazy. All right, let's add it to cart. Let's see what the underwriting questions look like. See what the knockout questions are. Have you been advised or have you confined to a hospital bed, psychiatric place, or correctional facility? Let's put yes. If you answer yes in section A, you are not eligible. So these are all your knockout questions. Been advised to receive home health care or hospice? Do you use a wheelchair or mobility scooter? Or do you have physical or mental impairment requiring assistance? All right, so these are a lot of your activities of daily living. Within the past year, have you been advised to use oxygen? Okay, CPAP machine, dialysis. What else? Have you been advised to have surgery or diagnostic test that you have not started or completed, which includes tests related to HIV? So why is that? So they want to make sure that if somebody has questionable health, they've actually had a diagnosis, that there's actually a doctor saying that they're healthy. So if somebody says, no, I have something, I haven't seen a doctor yet, your best advice is for them to go see the doctor and then apply once they get the clean bill of health. Let's see. Have you ever received or been advised to receive an organ or bone marrow transplant? Do you have AIDS, HIV, Lou Gehrig's disease, Huntington's disease, sickle cell? Do you have Alzheimer's, dementia, or mental incapacity? Congestive heart failure. So this is not a guaranteed issue policy. This is straight up life insurance. Any sort of heart issues, cystic fibrosis, cerebral palsy. Within the past 2 years, have you been diagnosed with or received, here we go, chemotherapy or radiation therapy? Have you been diagnosed with one or more occurrence of a different type of cancer? More than one occurrence. All right. If yes, answers in section B, you're eligible for a modified plan. All right, let's see what they ask. Within the past 2 years, have you been diagnosed with or received or advised to receive treatment for alcohol or drug, or been convicted or pled guilty for driving under the influence? Okay, they want to know if you're an at-risk driver. No. Oh, I don't want to jinx myself. I'm not putting yes there. Complications with diabetes, such as diabetic coma, insulin shock. They want to know, do you have cancer or liver disease? Let's put yes, but where do we have to put that? Oh, modified plan. So let's first put no and see what happens. Within the past year, have you been diagnosed or received treatment or advised to receive treatment for angina, stroke, transient, I'm not even going to try that, TIA, mini stroke, brain tumor, aneurysm? We're going to put no on there. All right, cool. That gets us back to section C. Let's change this to yes. So let's say I did have a stroke. Now I'm going to check my eligibility again. You may qualify for a modified level plan. So we can go forward. What that probably is going to do, though, is it's probably going to affect my premium. Okay. But let's put no. Now we have question C. In the past 2 years, have you been diagnosed or received treatment for if I had a heart attack? And again, if yes, in section C, you are eligible for a standard level. If no, for sections A, B, and C, you're eligible for a preferred. Again, so the more no's I have, the better my rate is because the better of my health. So I'm going to hit no, no, no. standard replacement. Are we going to replace any of these policies? Again, a replace. What do we got here now? Check eligibility. Do I want to add riders? Do I want a children's term insurance rider? Let's put yes. Has a proposed insured's child ever been diagnosed with blah, blah, blah? All right, wait a minute. Post-child institutionalized? No, no, no. Yes, here, see if that changes anything. No. So again, you're actually going to be doing underwriting. Again, yeses and nos affect the level of the premium based off of their health. Let's see. Benefit plans. You currently have a Medicare supplement plan with Ascendo. Again, if they do and you went through underwriting, they're going to immediately give you that health rating. So it could save you time. Again, so this is going to be a preferred level. If I went back and I put a few, if I put a few yeses, say I put a few yeses in section here. Check eligibility. No. No, no. Let's go next. Modified plan. So that changes it for you. Now I'm looking at $88 a month. All right, so we do have to do a little field underwriting. So what this tells me is that it's better to buy these policies, one, when you're young and healthy, just like any other insurance, right? We run another quote. Let's see what else they have. The dental. All right, gives you an idea of what the plans are. Click on one. Oop. Now I know what my premium is for this dental plan. What is this dental plan? I don't know. Let's go to the product brochure. All right, let me scroll down. Tells you what the plan does. Dental coverage, breaks it out into three classes, talks about waiting period. So this is pretty cool. Class 3, major care, no waiting period. So there's quite a few plans out there where they do make you have a waiting period for major, well, here you go, orthodontics. There's a 12-month waiting period. But again, for the first year, you have a 20% coverage for Class C. Your second year and going forward, it's only 50%. But what does it cover? Endodontics, periodontal surgery, bridges, crowns, implants, $1,500 lifetime maximum. All right, everybody's asking about implants, but it explains the vision coverage, hearing coverage. Let's go back. Outline of coverage. This is probably going to give you a little bit more detail. So again, everybody can kind of go into the system and play around, but this gives you an idea of, that's really not that fun and friendly to look at. That gives you an idea of what the dental coverage is. What I don't like though is networks. So let's see if we add this We start the enrollment because when I show you Cigna, there is a section where you can look up dentists. I don't want full screen. Get out of here. Hold on. Let's see if they give you a place where you can look. Plan benefits, proposed insured, agent information, plan eligibility. I'm gonna put no, no. Health history. This is interesting for dental. All right, so it's skipped right over health history. Plan benefits to annual. Yeah, that's what I want. Proposed insured. This is all my stuff. So I don't like that. So let's go back. Let's go out of here. Let's get out of this screen. So this is the main screen here. Agent management, onboarding new agent, don't care about that. Discover the website features. What I want to do is find out if there's a provider list, drug list, order supplies, my reports, see my business. See if I'm actually in there. So I don't like that. Obviously, I haven't sold this in a long time, but I don't like it how it only has it for those past 3 years. Production summary, book of business, agent management. I don't like there's no way to find out if the dentist takes this plan. Directory. It's probably their own directory. Right, if you want to call anybody an Aetna. So I don't like that. If we go back to quote and enroll again, just to make sure that we reviewed most of the products.
Hey, Chris, I went to the product availability chart and clicked on dental, and it says you go in and out of network. So I don't know if there is no network or it's the Aetna network.
That's the thing. It would be nice. So the same thing with Cigna. Obviously, if the doctor's in network, that money's going to stretch farther. But they really should. All right, we talked about the dental, heart attack, recovery care. Again, you can go in hospital indemnity. We're all aware of that. You can use GTL, but you can figure out the plans and everything like that. Again, use this product brochure, outline of coverage. If we switch it to Cigna, again, Cigna is another company that does this. Go to Cigna Supplemental, quote and enroll. We're going to use Cigna Supplemental Benefits. Remember, these can be done during a sales presentation or sales meeting, as long as they're scoped. So they have dental, vision, hearing, hospital indemnity, cancer, heart. They are, here's another cancer treatment. They don't have anything with stroke plans. So hold on, we got a question in the chat. Life insurance portion, do we need to be licensed with life insurance before offering the product? Yes. Good question. Yes. So let's take a look at this flexible dental. The reason why I like that is find a provider in here, because this is a PPO network as well. Select coverage, individual, $5,000 of coverage. Here's my deductible amount. Do I want a $100 deductible? Do I want a $0 deductible? Or a $100 disappearing deductible? And it'll explain that. So let's just say I don't want any deductible. I'm paying $65 a month. You can look at the application, brochure, flyer, all of those can go to the client, but I do like find the provider. Here we go. I have a dentist now in network. So that's one drawback of why I like the Cigna more than the Aetna. And if we did, let's see, let's do a dollar for dollar comparison. Now, this isn't always going to ring true that one is going to always be less expensive than the other one. What am I doing? It's a long day already. So this only, we could have one $5,000 benefit. Has nothing to do with the deductibles though, but this is going to be $80. I go to Cigna, same thing, but no deductibles. It's going to be about $30, $25 less with Cigna. Here's the problem though. Aetna might have a better network. So when I do dental, I always have my client reach out to their dentist office and find out what insurance plan they take instead of me fooling around with all this. Because even though this is $30 less, if their dentist is out of network with Cigna, this $5,000 is going to last a lot less, or it's not going to go as far as the Aetna plan will. So, that might be worth the extra money for that individual. All right. But the process of enrolling is pretty much the same thing. They have cancer plan. Let's take a look, see what knockout questions they have. Oh, they have a lot of riders. Look at that. That's crazy. So they both go up to about 75,000. Individual. Cancer reoccurrence benefit. Again, that was $6.38 more. If we came back here, we're looking at $79. Again, it's about $6 more. So that's equivalent, but $79, let's say $80 for Aetna. We're looking at about the same, a little bit more expensive with Cigna. Do you want to add a stroke rider on here? Add that. So it kind of adds up quite a bit. But again, you can ask them if they want to ask a hospital indemnity rider. Here's the brochure. Now, remember, with indemnity plans, there's no such thing as a doctor's network because the individual gets paid, not the doctor, not the hospital. So with these cancer, heart attack, and stroke plans, it doesn't matter about doctor networks. But this gives you an idea of the different benefits, the different plans. Let's figure out what the knockout questions are. How do we do this? Let's do get rid of this. Okay, X out of there. All right, starting not to like you already. I guess we'll do the questionnaire with that. Start application. Here we go. Let's do this. Applicant, first name, last name. That can't even spell my own name. Medicare A and B effective dates, don't need them. Why? Because again, you can be under 65 and have these. So we're going to start the application. Hopefully it'll let me go next through this. It won't, but that's fine because it gave us an option to look at the application, the paper app. Let's go back. And again, so these websites, you can see they're cumbersome. I haven't gone in a long time. Practice it, because if you're doing a sales presentation with a client, you don't want to fumble around with this. So get good at it. We're good. Let's take a look. Just coming in. Let's take a look here. View blank application. How are we doing on time? What's up? Hold on, let me move this over. All right, let's see what we have. Coverage options. New coverage it'll be. Primary insured information. Okay, demographic stuff. Employment. All typical stuff. Here you choose your policy, what type of coverage you want. Let's go to the underwriting questions. Payment. Is this insurance applied for, intended to replace? So you're a replacement. This is applicant eligible for Medicare. Ineligible occupations. If you're currently employed or in a non-administrative role in the following industries, so heavy construction contractors, if you do fire protection, truck and warehousing, primary metal industries. This is crazy. A lot of metal stuff. Any of these occupations, you're going to be ineligible. Here we go. Are currently employed, non-administrative role below, or you are an active military member. Okay, AIDS. We know that, yes or no. Complete the following. If you answer yes to any of these questions, please explain at the end of section X. Okay. If you answer yes to any questions for the application, blah, 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 will be excluded from coverage as applicable. All right. So HIV within the past 2 years, biopsy treatment, any sort of cancer, tests of abnormal precancerous lesions. So they want to know about that, any sort of cancers. Let's see. Again, they want to know if you're applying. So here's the nice thing. If you're applying for the heart attack, stroke, they want to know your height and weight. Remember, Aetna was not asking about height and weight. This is lump sum cancer or hospital indemnity in the past 5 years. Have you been advised by a medical professional for medical or diagnostic tests related to diseases of the heart? again, any sort of heart issues. And I'm not going to read these word for word, but again, before you go to an appointment, maybe brush up on this sort of thing. And that's why it's important just to choose one plan, get good at it because they are different. It looks like Cigna is going to have more underwriting. The fact that we can't go on the online application kind of stinks because maybe it would kick out some of these underwriting questions based off of the coverage that you selected. But right now, it looks like it's a pretty extensive background check that they're checking on your health. Yeah. And let's see, section X, at the end of it. If you answered yes to any of them, provide the details, so on and so forth. So that's Cigna. We are running late on time. So I showed you Aetna and Cigna. With any of the life insurance products, yes, you have to be life and health, or at least life. Anything else, you need to have your health license. You do not need to be, the member does not have to be on Medicare. These plans are, you are able to do all of these plans or enroll people during a Medicare meeting, except the life insurance. So anything but final expense. You can do dental, hearing, and vision. You can do hospital indemnity. Choice accident. That might be an accidental death or dismemberment policy. If that is life insurance, you can't do it. Cancer, absolutely can do that all day long. So get good at these sites, print out brochures, send them to clients. There's no eligibility period like AEP or OEP. You can enroll people year round. So if you have a really hectic AEP, come February, March, or even after OEP, you could circle around to all your clients and let them know, hey, there's a new product. You can email blast them the PDF of the brochure and see if they're interested. These do not have to be recorded, the enrollments. So if it is done during a non-Medicare appointment and it's over the phone or via Zoom, again, doesn't have to be scoped, doesn't have to be recorded. And that's about it. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I've taken up quite a bit of your time. But again, play around with these. If you do not have access, reach out to either your upline, reach out to your mentor, or reach out to Tracy or myself. But play around with these, get good at them. They're a great way of maintaining that relationship with your client. There are a lot of gaps in Medicare Advantage plans and health insurance in general. And these health ailments can really devastate a family. So make sure your members know about this. All right. If there's no other questions, thank you very much. This will be on the agency website. Everybody have a good day. Coffee chat next week, tomorrow, actually. We're going to have a gentleman from UH1, I believe. He's going to talk about ancillary plans just like this. We're also going to talk about the current situation with the commissions. You might have received the amendment from United Healthcare. We have some rumors and innuendos that we can talk about with the other carriers. So definitely attend that if you can. With that, everybody, have a great day.
Thank you, Chris. Chris,
You
let me
got
ask
it.
a question.
Sure.
Are you hearing me?
Yes.
I apologize for my English, but for me it's
Oh, no.
important the question because Alex and I need to start as soon as possible, But for us, all of things is new. I repeat, apologize for my English for
Yep.
all the participated. My question is about the information of the clients because I don't know. I understand all the process. I need to choose the best way to the client, right? But my question is, how can you know all the issues of the health of the client? I don't know if you understand me, because
Yep.
for me, it's the first step to understand what the best is the way, but I need to understand, oh,
So that's a great question. And that's one of the things that if you were just a true Medicare broker, you never have to ask health questions. But if I'm on a meeting and the person says, I want to either get life insurance or cancer or heart attack, I'm going to say, great. Let's look at the application. There are going to be health questions, and I need you to be honest with me. And then
Yes.
all you do is just read what that question says. And you let the client know that if they're dishonest and the
Yeah.
insurance company knows, what they'll do is they'll cancel the policy, they'll refund the money. Or worse, with the life insurance, there's a 2-year look back, which means that if the insurance company wanted to investigate it and they found out that there was something misleading on the policy, they won't pay back the death benefit. They won't pay it. They will pay back the premium, what they
Yeah.
paid for it, but they won't reach out that death benefit. So it's very important for the client to be extremely honest. But
Exactly.
I love the question. That's why I pick one of these carriers, pick Aetna or pick Cigna, because at least, your first 1 or 2 enrollment might not go that smoothly. You might fumble around, but the more you do it, the better off you'll be, and the more familiar you'll be with the health questions.
Yes. For
So
example, yeah. Sorry. For you, for example, that you are an expert for all this insurance, what is the best way? For example, an interview first with the client, or I don't
just to
know.
come out and say it.
Yeah.
Hey, you want the
Okay.
coverage? I have to ask you these questions. And I need you to be as honest as you can. And let them know the insurance company will find out. And that's it. Here's the other thing too. You don't want to lie on the application. You're the broker. It's your responsibility to make sure that application is as accurate as possible, because your name is on there too. So you want to take it really serious and just come out and say it. I have to ask you health questions.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was a good question, but for me, it's the first step in all the process. You understand how do you know all the question, all the issues of the health for to know what is the best way for the client. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah. So that's why I wanted to show you the underwriting too, because most of the questions are similar. They want to know about HIV. They want to know if you've been diagnosed with something, or if a health professional has advised you to get a treatment. Have you
Yeah,
gotten that treatment? So they want to know if there's any sort of unknowns in your medical history that they need to know about. They want to know about cancer. They want to know if you've had heart issues. They're going
exactly.
to ask about diabetes. So the issue then becomes, how do the different insurance companies view those things?
Yeah, I understand.
You can't really know that. The only thing that you can do is get familiar with a certain plan, so that one, you're not going to be like this training where I'm fumbling around. You're going to have your logins, you're going to have everything to go. You can do a smooth presentation because you've looked at the brochures, you know exactly what the coverages are. So instead of fumbling around saying, oh, what is this? What does this cover? What does this cover? You know ahead of time. So you're prepared and you have an idea of the health questions. So pick one, get really good at it. Or here's the other thing. I went on there, I put in my own information.
Yeah, because my worry was because I will be that complete all the process. Then I need to understand all the issues, all the.
So all you need to understand is how the application process works and the generalities of the coverages. The coverages are going to be explained to you word for word in the brochure. As far as how the application process goes, what I would recommend is you type in your own information, you fill it all out, and then you don't have to submit it, but at least you can see every step.
Yeah.
And if you do value the coverage, you might as well apply for it as well. That's what Tracy and I did. That's how we know how the policies work, what they look like, because we were kind of the guinea pigs, but we also believe in the insurance.
Yeah.
One of the strongest things you can say during a meeting like that is, hey, I own this. I
Yeah.
have a cancer, heart attack, and
Yeah, I
stroke
know.
plan.
I know.
So
Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
no problem at all. Great question. Does anybody else have a question? All right, everybody, this will be on the broker site, and I know Cynthia will translate it to Spanish. I just need to get her all that information.
Yes. Perfect. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, everybody, have a great day.
Thank you, you too. Bye bye.
You got it.